Finding replenishable products to sell on Amazon is the #1 key to building a sustainable Amazon FBA business in 2024, but lots of beginners struggle to make it happen. Replens were the key to me selling over 7 figures on Amazon my first year flipping name brand products, and in this video, I'm going to give you a full step-by-step tutorial to find more inventory that you can buy and sell again and again on Amazon. I'm going to show you how to simplify your replen strategy, a bunch of tips and tricks lots of people charge lots of money for, and everything in between. Let's jump inside my screen and source some profitable replens. So we're here inside my screen where we'll predominantly be hanging out when we're doing all-in arbitrage. And overall, this is just a really important video if you want to maximize your results over the long term. This is going to be a little bit more of an advanced video, but if you implement this stuff, it's going to immediately make a difference. From working with different sellers in my coaching program and just being in the Amazon community for several years, I have a ton of context around who really gets good results and gets good at product research over the long term. And I want to show you guys a bunch of different examples of different types of replens and how to actually treat them within your business. And it's going to make a big difference. Taking a look at this specific item right here, right off the bat, we can see this item is currently in the buy box on Amazon at $41. And then over on SellerAmp, we can see that puts a max cost of $19.99. Now, this does have the private label alert. However, we can see if we take a look at the sellers on this listing, it is not just the &1 brand, for example. So it's not going to be private label. An item is private label if it shows the only seller being the specific brand that's carrying this product. We can see this is not right here, and we can see the brand there specifically as well too, just looking at SellerAmp and on Amazon right here. So we can see a lot of the time when it says private label, it's just due to low competition. It's on you to see if it's dominated by the brand or not. We can see this item is over on Walmart at $19.98. This is actually an example of a brand that only comes from Walmart, for example, from my experience. So we actually know where the inventory is coming from. So storefront stalking from listings in this brand, you already know where the inventory is coming from. We can see this specific item leaves $5 profit and 25% ROI. However, I know that Walmart actually takes reseller certificates for online and retail arbitrage. So if you get what's called a tax exempt permit or reseller certificate, depending on what state you're in, just following your state's rules, we can actually go ahead and take off the 5% sales tax that I have factored in on my SellerAmp backend. So being that I'm going to use tax exempt for this, I'm going to take off that 5% right here. And then I also know I can use discounted gift cards on Walmart too, right? So that's probably going to give me right around another 4% off, for example, right here. So now, right, we took this from like a 25% ROI to being a nice 38% ROI with $7 profit, for example, right? So this listing's profitable today. And then if we take a look at the Keepa chart, we can actually see over the year-long data, it actually looks like this is pretty consistently profitable, and that we can see literally, in the past, 2 weeks, this is buy box as high as like 45 right here. And really the low point over the last year is about 37, which is definitely not the end of the world if you take, consider the context overall, the way most listings are a lot more volatile, right? So taking a look over the past year, there's a good chance this is a really nice, consistent replen product. And definitely looking at historically, it has performed like that, right? So not only would this be a good item to potentially take a look at if you had just found it on your own. Obviously, I don't recommend buying proxy in YouTube videos. I do want to show you guys what a replen product looks like, and that we can see this was going for about 20 bucks on Walmart. And then we use those little tricks, tax exempt and discounted gift card. And now this listing is currently profitable in C 41.39 here, right? Just about 41 in the buy box right there. Really nice and sustainable and good over the long term. I would say the offer count movement, aka the velocity on this product, my favorite way to tell velocity, is a little bit slower. However, we can see this listing's been consistently profitable so much of the past year that this is the exact type of replen product we want to take a look at. And so not only do I want to definitely go ahead and test order this if I had found it on my own, but I also want to take advantage of the #1 tip to go ahead and find more replens, which is going to be organizing your leads better, right? And so if we go ahead and do that, the way we're going to do that is scroll down here on SellerAmp and actually export this to a replen spreadsheet right here. So I just have a test one right here, and then it's going to zap it off to this Google Sheets right here. And then I'm going to take the source link and I'm going to plug this in right here. And I'm going to say like nice item often the past year with GC plus tax exempt, basically right there, right? So now I can track this lead over time and not only get that test order and if I found it on my own, but potentially go ahead and take more of these in the future, right? So this is the type of example of a product that, looking historically, has totally been a replen at this buy cost. I would definitely want to check the variations tab and see if there's any other colors and sizes that make sense as well. But this is a nice example of a consistent replen. And I get that question all the time in live streams: what does an actual replen look like? And this is a great example of something that's in stock, that's been profitable, and is profitable today. Here's another type of replen. So if we take a look at this product specifically right here, right off the bat, we can see 100 plus bought in the past month. It's always nice to see that. Buy boxing at 49 and a ton of reviews, 456 reviews, for example, right here, right? So if we take a look over on SellerAmp, our max cost is 28 right here. Over on the brand website, it's going for about 30 bucks right here. However, if we scroll down to the bottom here, we can see there's a nice 15% off code right here, right? Just signing up for their email list. So now this goes from 30, which is actually pretty close, down to 25.5 right here, which makes this listing nice and profitable, right? However, if we take a look at the Keepa chart, we can see the competition's actually gone up on this listing. So unfortunately, the price has gone down right here, and that this is the kind of listing where, like, I don't super trust it right now because the lowest price is like 43 and people have been getting buy box there. However, it has consistently been up at like 50, for example. And that's a huge mistake beginner sellers make. They find stuff that is good or it's pretty close to being good, but then they don't snag it and they don't track it. So for example, we can see with a nice coupon like this, just 15%, this has actually been nice and profitable over time, literally from like September 15th, dating back all the way to like mid-August, for example. So this had a nice 4-week straight of being a nice profitable product. The competition's up a little bit, therefore the buy box is down in terms of where it's, historically been right here. So because of that competition increase, I would pass on this. However, I definitely want to go ahead and export this to a Replen spreadsheet to go ahead and take a look at this in the future, right? So I'm gonna just export that out. We can go here, right? We can take a look right there and we can see, so nice item, just comp too high as of 9/24/2024, right? For example. So we can see not good today, but very good historically. Quick interruption from the video, guys. Q4 starts next week, and if you're interested in personalized one-on-one access to me and want my help scaling up for Q4, now's the perfect time to join my coaching program. In my coaching program, you'll get 3 group coaching calls a week, my personal phone number, all my coupons, tips, tricks, and strategies, unparalleled daily one-on-one access to me, as well as we'll get together one-on-one on Zoom and source some products together, and you'll have my full one-on-one support through the entire process of Q4. So take a look at that at the link in the description if you're interested. Go ahead and apply. Check out some of the people we've helped. Back to the video. So not only do I want to track the product over time in the SellerAmp spreadsheets, I also can use a massive secret weapon called Keepa Alerts to actually get notified via email of when this item becomes good again. So for example, we can go here and hit track product and then go down here and hit pro, for example, right? And then we can actually get notified when this hits a certain offer count or competition. So for example, if this goes below like a 12 offer count, or we could do like above, like, for example, 50 from a pricing perspective, this becomes nice and good. So what some sellers will do is they'll set Keepa tracking alerts on like hundreds of products, for example, and they're just getting notified via email of listings dropping in competition or increasing in price all the time. Right? So it's super important to make sure you're organizing your leads in SellerAmp spreadsheets, as well as taking advantage of Keepa tracking alerts to get notified both of price increases or competition decrease, specifically right here. That's a massive hack. Not enough sellers are taking advantage of to track replens over time. Another important part of tracking replens is not only tracking stuff in SellerAmp spreadsheets and just taking a look in the Keepa alerts as well, but it's also going to be actually tracking what deals different websites offer. And that's going to be using a coupon tracking spreadsheet. So for example, off what we've seen so far, Walmart, for example, we didn't find any coupons, didn't find any sales, right? However, we did find that there are good discounted gift cards, right? And tax exempt, right? So we can see, so good GCs right here. I like Card Bear and Top Cashback for gift cards specifically right here. So we can see, boom, gift cards and tax exempt works nicely right there. Merle Norman, for example, or however you pronounce that, right? We can see Merle Norman, right, has a 15% email code, right? And how I found it was shows at bottom of website, right? I could check on Google if they have rewards, do the same thing with Walmart, right? Check on Cardbird if they have gift cards, for example. But either way, this was what was required to make this item good. And now I can take a look at the spreadsheet. If I get a Keepa alert that this item, dropped in competition significantly, then I can come back to that deal nice and easy right there. So Keepa tracking alerts, SellerAmp spreadsheets, and you having a coupon tracking spreadsheet is going to compound just like crazy and help you build a really sustainable arbitrage business over time. On to another example of a replen. And the reason why I bring this stuff up, guys, is because obviously I do live product research all the time on my channel. And I want you guys not just to find stuff that's profitable today, but I also want you to find lots of profitable leads over time. And using SellerAmp spreadsheets and Keepa tracking alerts is how you go ahead and do that. For example, this item's over here on Target for 17. Right, and Target has pretty good gift cards. We can see on Cardbird how much specifically right here. We can see up to 9% off. I'd say we can probably get like 5 to 6% off, for example. Right, so 17. Right, and then we want to go ahead and take off 6% right here. Boom. So we can see nice and profitable here, taking a look at the SellerAmp numbers, right? And that's after shipping, sales tax, everything, right? However, if we take a look here, we can see the competition on this item actually is totally going up the past week. So there's a good chance the price is probably going to keep going down. However, we can see this listing has been super profitable over time, right? And that we can see for a while, like this was literally buy boxed at 44 just a couple weeks ago, right? So this is the exact type of example we want to go ahead and add to our Replen spreadsheet, and definitely set a Keepa alert on, probably from a competition perspective, just hitting track product and then pro, and then setting an offer count alert minimum of like 5 or 6, for example, looking historically on this item, right? And then we want to go here. We want to pull the source link right here, plug this in and say competition too high as of 9/25/2024, right? Alert set, for example, right? And now we can come back to this in the future. And what I really just want you guys to, understand is that when you know where something's coming from, or if you just found it close, it's really important to maximize the value of your time and track replens over time using the methods we went over in this video. And then we'd also want to go ahead and keep updating our coupon tracking spreadsheet over time. Say Target, for example, we say good gift cards right here. So good GCs right here. I would look on Google for tax exempt. I would see if there's any coupons or sales. I don't think there are specifically right there, but we're going to update this and it's going to evolve over time. And it's really important to have a coupon tracking spreadsheet. For example, another website I really like is Dick's Sporting Goods, right? Which has a 10% email code, right? Sometimes I see they have sales, but for example, like not always. Right here, how I found it shows at bottom of the website, right? And then for example, Dick's Sporting Goods has rewards, right? They have good gift cards too, right? So Dick's Sporting Goods, there's a good email coupon and there's good discounted gift cards. That's a big moat. And then I would also have to see if they take tax exempt too, just looking on Google or hitting up customer service. It's really important to be utilizing those resources over time. All right, next item up here, we can see this Wilson football spray. It's currently going for 23.40 right here in the buy box. We can see 500 bought past month. It's also just football season, which makes sense. This would do well, for example, right here. So we can see over on the Wilson website, it's going for 12.95, and there's this 20% code. So I definitely want to update the coupon sheet. Y'all can see like basically every website has some sort of mechanism right here, aka coupon, gift card, tax exempt, etc. here, right? So at 12.95 here, that's close. Take off 20%, boom, now it's good, right? The problem is we can see this listing's currently out of stock, and all the time beginners come across listings that are close to being good or are good. They're just not currently in stock, for example, and you have to track that stuff using an out of stock spreadsheet in SellerAmp right here. So now I would just go ahead and export this out, or you could just add it to your Replen sheet with a note of it being out of stock and check it pretty frequently. Eventually, a virtual assistant checks it for you. That's a really, really good tip to save time too, right? But overall, Replen tracking is just a great way to make your product research more efficient and make sure you're getting notified of when stuff becomes good. Some websites will even let you get notified right here. For example, Wilson's a great example. We can put in our email. They're going to notify us there. Most websites, though, it's just going to come from checking pretty often or like sourcing with a group of other sellers. That's going to take a look right there as well. So we can see this item, for example, there's even people buy boxing high right here. Competition is up a little bit, but we can see demand is way up, aka sales rank's totally down because it's football season. This football item, for example, here we can see, yeah, if we take a look recently, people buy boxing even at like 24, for example, right there. And everything. So even better on an item like that specifically right there. But really, really important that you're going to call listings not only that are historically good but aren't good today, but also listings that are totally good, right, or look very good, that currently are out of stock, so you can't source them, but you need to put that infrastructure in place from a spreadsheet and just tracking in general, right, to make sure you're seeing stuff in the future when it does become good. Another thing I see from a ton of beginners is thinking like, okay, great. If I'm selling Halloween products around Halloween, what am I going to buy? And I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. What am I going to buy when Thanksgiving comes around or when Christmas comes around, for example? And that's just a very short-term mindset. One, from a skill perspective, if you can find profitable stuff in October, you can find profitable stuff in November, for example, right? But otherwise, a lot of listings become good every year because different products are always in different seasonal demand, but seasons repeat themselves. So if you're thinking in weeks or months as an Amazon seller, you're going to lose compared to the people that are thinking in years and tracking stuff really efficiently using all the different methods you see in this video, right? So for example, this item here, if we take a look at the all-time data on this item and take off these Keepa settings, we can see every December, right? And every holiday season and every winter, the demand spikes, aka the sales rank goes down here, 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 and here. Literally every year. And it looks like it's prepping to start going down here too, as well, and literally is in this case. And this is the type of product where if you found this profitable one year, it's probably going to be profitable every year, right? Just candidly speaking, right? As we can see that people make money on this literally every year, and that every year we can see this massive competition drop, and it looks like the price goes up every year. And that's the nice thing is Keepa shows us this over time. So this is, for example, what I would call a seasonal replen, where it's not necessarily going to be a replen over and over again in terms like just going to be an item you can consistently buy, like some of these that are a little bit more evergreen, like the Walmart product has been looking historically, right? This is the kind of thing it looks like you can make money on every year specifically, right? So obviously you build your own criteria over time, right? But when you see in this case, this is the kind of stuff that, consistently becomes good right here, just taking a look from a demand perspective. And the same thing holds true for summer products in the summer, baseball products during baseball season, right? Football and soccer gear right now in September and October and last month in August, for example. And that's the important stuff you definitely want to make sure you're tracking over time here from a Replen perspective. And it just makes it a lot easier when you're using SellerAmp spreadsheets, Keepa tracking alerts, just overall thinking long-term, and then also using a coupon tracking sheet as well. And now on the topic of different coupons, here are all my favorite ways to make products profitable. So on top of the different tips and tricks we talked about in this video, I also want you guys just to understand that from my experience, you don't really find items good, you make them good. And that's a big mistake beginners make is they don't implement all these different discounting methods right here, right? So I'd recommend just screenshotting this and going through like an order of operation for every website you go ahead and come across and add it to your coupon spreadsheet that you go through, as you see fit, right? So for example, you definitely want to make sure you have all the free cashback and coupon extensions. These are free. They just give you coupons. All of them are listed out right there, as well as just different email account and text sign-up coupons. For example, on Merle Norman, we saw that email coupon, right? Digging around on Google for coupons, asking customer service, networking with other Amazon sellers. That's a great way to find like hidden coupons. For example, like if you Google shop WSS coupons, you'll find a bunch just, at the top result right there. Discounted gift cards like we took a look at for a couple examples here using Cardbear and Top Cashback are great. And these are overall just going to help you find a lot more replens too, and just find a lot more quick flips, which over the long term, most things do become replen. Words programs like Kohl's Cash are great, using a tax-exempt permit for mainly RA, sometimes OA. Lots of websites do take it for OA. If you just Google like Walmart tax-exempt, you'll see many websites do take a look at it, just using that method. Getting on a listing quick merch filled, as well as taking advantage of different holiday sales. Next big holidays coming up are October Prime Day and Halloween. Combining these opportunities together is really, really important as well. Keeping good organized Google Sheets like we took a look at right there. Smart repricing above the buy box. It's a huge mistake a lot of beginners make is not doing that right there, as well as using a tax-free prep center, which is great too. And it's overall just tracking which websites allow which discounts, and eventually you're going to memorize them as well too, which is really, really important. And I'll leave the link to this discounted guide at the link in the description too, if you want to take a look at this and implement this order of operations on your own right there as well. So that's the replen tracking video, guys. It's really important you implement this stuff in your business. I think it's going to make a big difference. It's one of those things where if you track replens and track products over time, you're going to get way better results than the people that don't. And you're actually going to work less too, because it's just a couple clicks to make that happen too as well, just using like SellerAmp Google Sheets, setting it up on selleramp.com. Making a coupon tracking alert Google Sheet as well is really helpful. And if overall you guys just have any questions about this stuff, please let me know down below in the comments. Make sure to subscribe for more. Q4 is going to be absolutely crazy. If you want my personal help, definitely take a look at the link in the description at the coaching program application, and I'll see you guys in the next one.